When my boss asked me to marry her at my own birthday party, I thought I was the one who started the joke. I did not realize I was walking into a real proposal that could save or destroy her whole company. The backyard lights were soft and warm. Little bulbs hung over the patio and made everyone look younger, easier, less tired. Gold balloons floated over the table. The banner behind the cake said, "Happy Birthday," in glitter letters that were a little crooked. I still wore my gray t-shirt and jeans. I had not planned to stay. I had planned to drop off a report, get a quick thanks from my CEO, and leave before anyone could drag me into small talk. Elena Vance did not let me leave. She stood by the cake like she owned the night, the same way she owned every boardroom I had ever seen her in. She wore a red dress, simple but sharp, and no loud jewelry. Her hair was down for once, not pinned back like on TV. When she leaned in, I caught a warm scent of sandalwood and rain on stone. "Happy birthday, Harrison," she said. I shook my head a little. I did not know CEOs did backyard parties. Quote, "I do not," she said, "not usually." People around us drifted away like they knew this was not for them. Her assistant went to fix the music. Someone took photos from a distance and then vanished. Elena lifted her left hand between us. No ring. Bare finger. Her eyes stayed on mine. "See?" she said quietly. "No one owns me." I had seen her stand in front of hostile investors. I had seen her answer angry questions from old men who thought she did not belong in charge. She never blinked. Now there was a tightness in her jaw that I had never noticed before. "You hate symbolism," I said, trying to keep it light. "I hate it when it is empty," she said. "I like it when it changes outcomes." She picked up the lighter from the table and handed it to me. Her fingers brushed my knuckles. The touch was small, but it felt deliberate, like she was testing something. "Make a wish," she said. The candle flames moved a little in the breeze from the lake. I looked at them. My wish was not romantic. I did not wish she would fall in love with me or anything like that. I wished she would stop looking like she was holding a heavy door shut with her shoulder and pretending it was easy. I blew out the candles. People clapped and cheered. The noise rose and fell and faded. Elena did not clap. She watched me. Then she said it. "Marry me." She said it soft, but clear enough that I heard every part of it. The word dropped between us and felt like glass hitting stone. Our friend Marta turned the music up and pretended she was not listening. Her eyes flashed our way anyway. I swallowed. My mouth was dry. "Is this a joke?" I asked. "Or a problem you need solved?" The playful tilt in Elena's smile faded. Something sharper took its place. Her eyes lost their party shine and turned serious. "It is a problem," she said. "And if you say yes, we might keep my company alive." 2 hours later, the guests were gone. The banner sagged. Paper plates and empty glasses sat on the table. The night air felt cooler and more real. Elena led me through the house she rented by the lake. The place looked perfect, like a magazine spread. Nice furniture, clean lines, art on the walls. It did not feel lived in. She did not turn on many lights, just enough to see where we were going. The rest of the house stayed in soft shadow. She moved like someone who had learned how to work in the dark and did not trust bright rooms very much. In her study, she shut the door and dropped a heavy file onto the desk. The impact made the lamp shake. "They gave me 48 hours, she said. "Who is they?" I asked. "My father," she said. The word sounded bitter in her mouth. "And the board. They are done pretending they trust me." She pushed the file toward me. Signed papers sat on top like a blade. "Legacy clause," I read. Elena's jaw tightened once. It was the only sign she was angry and not afraid. "My grandmother wrote it into the trust and into the bylaws," she said. "Her idea of protection, her idea of what makes a woman stable." I flipped through the pages. Dates, conditions, deadlines. A lot of legal lines that all pointed to the same thing. "If I'm not married by the deadline," Elena said, her voice low, "they vote to remove me. They appoint an interim CEO. A man like Sterling comes in and buys what he wants while I am pushed out." "Says who?" I asked. "Says the lawyers," she said. "Says my father. Says the paper in your hand." The whole thing felt old and wrong, like something from another century, not a modern company. "This is insane," I said. "It is real," she said, "and it is already moving." I watched her. I had never liked her the way men in stories like women. I admired her. I respected the way she walked into rooms full of people who wanted to see her fail and did not bend. But here, with that file between us and the clock ticking, I saw more. I saw the tired part, the part of her that wanted one person on her side who was not paid to nod. The part that was done being the only one standing while everyone else judged. "You want a husband," I said, "or you want a shield?" "I want both," she said. Her eyes did not move from mine. "And I want you because you do not want anything from me that I can sign." Quote. For the first time that night, she did not sound like a CEO. She sounded like a woman asking, "You are my client," I said. "You are my forensic accountant." She corrected, "Consultant, not employee. You can walk away." Her hand stayed on the desk, still, but her thumb rubbed the edge of the file, a small, nervous tell that I never would have seen in a board meeting. "Why me?" I asked. "Because you see the numbers," she said. "You do not scare easily. And you will not fake being in love for cameras. If we do this, it will look real because we will not act." I tapped the page with my knuckle. "If we do this, it is legal," I said. "Real marriage. Public record. People will think you bought me." "Let them," she said. "I am tired of being polite for people who want me gone." Outside, wind from the lake brushed leaves against the glass. Inside, the air felt tight. I should have said no. I should have told her to hire more lawyers and fight her board in court, not in a courthouse wedding. Instead, I heard myself say, "Happy birthday to me." Quote. A fast breath left her chest, almost a laugh, almost a sigh. "If I say yes," I said, standing, "it is not because you cornered me. It is because I choose it." Her shoulders dropped a little, like someone had taken a brick off her back. "Then choose," she said. I looked at her in that red dress. At the file, at the woman who could fire anyone but could not escape one old line in a trust. "Well," I said, my voice rough, "I am free." The next morning, the courthouse smelled like old carpet and warm paper. Elena walked beside me in a navy blazer, her face back in armor mode. We did not hold hands. The clerk asked if we were sure. Elena said yes without looking at me. When it was my turn, I said yes while looking right at her. Outside, cameras were waiting. And for the first time, I was not sure if I was saving her, saving the company, or ruining my own life in the most important way it could be ruined. The courthouse door opened, and the city hit us like a flash. Bright light, car horns, and the sharp click of camera shutters. Reporters waited at the bottom of the steps, already shouting her name. "Ms. Vance, is this a merger move?" "Elena, did the board force you?" "Who is he?" Her driver had the car pulled right up to the curb. A black sedan, doors already open. Security stepped out to make a path. Elena did not flinch. She just put on her public face, the cool CEO mask I knew too well. Her chin lifted. Her eyes went flat and calm. "Smile," she said under her breath, "or at least do not look like you regret it." "I don't," I said. Her eyes cut to mine for half a second. Then she moved forward. Flashes went off. Questions flew. Hands reached out. No one touched her. They knew better. She walked like a queen through a storm, not speeding up, not slowing down. Her hand brushed my sleeve once. Not a real grip, just contact. I stepped in closer on instinct, putting myself between her and the closest crowd. We slid into the back seat. The door shut. The noise outside became muffled, like a TV turned low. For a moment, we just sat there. The driver pulled away from the curb. "Rules," I said. Elena turned her head. "All right," she said. "Speak." "No fake affection," I said. "No staged kisses for the board. No holding hands just because a camera is pointed at us." Her brows lifted. "You want less affection?" she asked. There was a dry edge in her voice. "I want real or nothing," I said. "If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, we do not pretend." Her eyes searched my face like she was testing if I meant it. "Agreed," she said. "And the numbers," she added. "You promised me the numbers." "I'm already in them," I said. "I'll find what Sterling is doing." She leaned her head back on the seat for a second, eyes closed. The city blurred past us outside the window. Sterling is not just a buyer, she said quietly. He's a predator with patience. I've met his type, I said. They smile, like they are doing you a favor while they pull the floor out. Elena's mouth curved in a humorless almost smile. You really don't scare easy, do you? I read balance sheets for a living, I said. Your board does not even crack the top 10. Quote. She huffed out something that was almost a laugh. Her hand was on her knee. The fingers were tight, then slowly loosened. Without thinking too hard, I reached across the small space and put my palm at the small of her back. Just my hand, just steady weight. I did not pull her closer. I did not hold her like a claim. I just rested my hand there. She went still. Then slowly, she leaned back into that touch. Just a little. Like someone letting themselves sit down after a long day standing. Elena's house felt like a set when we got there. Tall ceilings, clean lines, everything in the right place. Nothing out of place. No mess. No warmth. Her staff had cleared out for the day. Security handled the gate, and then stayed outside. Inside, it was quiet. You don't have to stay here, she said as I carried my duffel up the stairs. I know, I said, but if I do this, I'm not drifting in and out like a guest. That's worse for you and worse for optics. Her eyes softened just a little. But this doesn't mean, she started. I know, I said again. We already made the rule. She nodded. My room ended up being the guest room at the end of the hall. Clean white sheets, neutral art. It felt like a hotel, not a home. I dropped my bag, washed my face, and came back down. Elena was in the kitchen, standing in front of an open fridge with a frown. The fridge was full, but in a strange way. Fruit trays, sparkling water, pre-cut vegetables, perfect jars. Everything looked like it belonged in a photo, not a real meal. You don't cook, I said. I cook numbers, she said, not food. I opened a cabinet. Dry pasta, olive oil, a jar of sauce. You have spaghetti, I said. You just don't know it. Marta shops, she said, almost offensive. Tell her she saved your marriage, I said. A short sound escaped her. I realized it was a laugh. I filled a pot with water and turned on the stove. Elena stood beside me like she was waiting for an assignment. Give me a task, she said. I slid a cutting board toward her and handed her a bulb of garlic. Slice this thin, I said. Do not crush it. We are not punishing anyone. Her mouth twitched. She picked up the knife a little awkwardly like it was a new tool. Her first slice was thick. The second was uneven. The third was better. The CEO of a massive logistics firm learning to slice garlic in her own kitchen at midnight. It should have felt strange. Instead, it felt right. A piece slipped. The knife nicked her finger. She froze. I caught her hand before she could yank it away. It's nothing, she said fast. I'm fine. You always say that, I said. I turned her hand under the faucet and ran cool water over the cut. It was small, just a red bead. I wrapped her finger in a paper towel and held it there, firm and gentle. Her breathing slowed. Her shoulders dropped half an inch. Thank you, she said quietly. You're welcome, I said, and let go. We ate simple pasta at the kitchen island. She had taken off her blazer. Her sleeves were rolled up. Her hair was loose around her shoulders. For 10 minutes, we didn't talk about the board or Sterling or legacy clauses. We talked about coffee. The worst coffee I ever had was in a motel off I-80, I said. Tasted like burned rubber and sadness. She snorted softly. Airport vending machine, she said. I was so tired I cried after one sip. The best? I asked. A diner in Ohio, she said. Truck stop, 3 in the morning. The coffee was nothing special, but they kept filling the cup like they were guarding my life. Best for me was a tiny place in the city, I said. They had this cinnamon thing, black coffee, 2 sugars and cinnamon. It helped me think. She made a thoughtful sound, like she had just filed that away. The next few days turned into a strange new routine. Elena woke early for calls with the board. I heard her voice through the office door, cool and sharp. I spent my nights with my laptop at the dining table, sleeves rolled, tie loose, digging into data. I pulled vendor lists, shipment logs, fuel card reports. Small things, boring things, the things people like Sterling thought no one really looked at. One night, around 2 a.m., I was still surrounded by papers and open files when I heard soft footsteps. Elena walked in wearing leggings, an oversized sweater, and tired eyes. Her hair was up in a loose knot. She did not look like a CEO. She looked like a woman who had stayed up worrying too many nights in a row. She did not say anything. She just set a mug down beside my hand. Black coffee, 2 sugars. I smelled cinnamon. I looked up at her. "You remembered," I said. She gave me a small, real smile. It reached her eyes this time. "You said it helps you think," she said. "I like you thinking." My chest warmed. I took a sip. The cinnamon hit first, then the heat. It grounded me. "I found something," I said, tapping the screen with my finger. She pulled a chair close enough that our shoulders almost touched, and leaned over to look. "See this vendor?" I said. "Brand new, big numbers, too big, and they get paid like they have been here for years. No delays, no questions." Her eyes moved fast over the rows. "So?" she asked. "So their routing number matches another vendor from 3 years ago," I said. "Different name, same bank path." I clicked another file. "And this one," I said. "Paid out of a separate account, but the check stock is identical. Sterling's people are moving money through shells. Fake variety, same pocket." Elena's jaw tightened, but her voice stayed calm. "He is bleeding us on purpose," she said. "Yes," I said. "And he is hiding it under growth, so the board thinks he is saving you." She did not curse. She did not throw anything. Her hand, resting on the table, curled into a fist, then slowly opened again. "How long to prove it?" she asked. "Hours to show the pattern," I said. "Days to get hard proof. I need time, real time." She nodded once. Elena respected real work. She never asked for magic. "Take it," she said. Her hand stayed near mine on the table, not touching, just close. I could feel the heat from her skin. "You are not wearing the ring," I said quietly. Her eyes dropped to her bare finger, then back to me. "I do not want them thinking you forced it on me," she said. "Good," I said. The silence after that was not empty. It was thick, with something I could not yet name. Thunder rolled from the distance of our lives. Emails kept coming. Headlines kept spinning. The board kept watching. And somewhere in the numbers I could feel the shape of Sterling's trap forming. I just had to get there before it snapped shut on her. The first time I saw what Sterling was doing on concrete instead of paper was in a cold warehouse in Joliet. We were in the middle of a work session when Elena's phone lit up. She put the call on speaker. It was a client, one of the big ones. His voice was tight with anger. "We are missing medical supplies," he said. "Your system says they arrived." "My people say they did not. If this is how you run things, we are done." The board chair was copied on the follow-up email 3 minutes later. So was Elena's father. Elena stared at the screen, then stood up so fast her chair tipped. "Which distribution center?" she asked. "Joliet," I said, looking at the code on the report. "Cross-dock." "Get your boots," she said. "We are going." The warehouse in Joliet smelled like diesel and cold metal. Forklifts beeped. Pallets slid. Workers moved in layers of jackets, heads down. When Elena walked in wearing a hard hat and fitted coat, every eye turned. Some men straightened. Some looked away like eye contact might get them fired. A sweating shift supervisor rushed over. "Ms. Vance," he said, "we are short. The system shows 12 trailers in. We have 10 on the floor." Elena's eyes cut to me. Her jaw stayed tight. "Show us," I said. He led us to the dock doors and then to a small office with 4 monitors stacked on each other. Gate cameras, timestamps, grainy images of trucks rolling in and out. "Run yesterday," I said. "All inbound." He rewound the footage. We watched trucks pull up, drivers jump out, badges flash at the gate, trailers ease inside. "Pause there," I said. The frame froze on one driver's badge. "Zoom in," I said. He did. The picture blurred, then sharpened as much as it could. The badge had the Vance logo. It looked right at first glance. but the barcode pattern was too clean. No wear, no stickers, no old tape marks like the real ones I had seen at other hubs. "Run that badge ID," I said. The supervisor typed the number. His face went pale. "Not in the system," he said. "No record at all." "It was never meant to be," I said. Elena stepped closer. I could feel the heat from her body at my shoulder. "What does that mean?" she asked. "It means someone is ghosting your gate," I said. "Fake badge, fake record, real truck. They come in, your system says, received, even though no one checked. Then product disappears and the system swears it was here." We watched again. This time I noticed a second truck rolling in tight behind the first, using its blind spot. The trailers almost touched. "Rewind 15 seconds, I said. He did. We watched frame by frame. On the first trailer, just above the wheel well, there was a faint logo. Not Vance, not any client I knew. A small circle with an S inside. Elena's whole face changed. Hard, focused. "Sterling," she said. "Or someone he pays," I replied. "Same thing." We went back out on the floor. I checked pallet tags. I counted rows. I matched the manifest to what I could touch. 2 pallets had the same ID. 1 looked real. 1 looked too perfect. No dust. No torn wrap. A prop. "He is building a case that you are losing freight," I said. "He creates fake volume. He steals real product. Then he stands in front of your board and calls you reckless." Elena's hand curled at her side. Her voice came out tight. "They will say I am incompetent," she said. "They will say I can't run my own company." I stepped closer. A forklift backed up too fast behind her. I put a hand on her elbow and shifted us both out of the way. Metal rolled by where she had just been standing. She looked down at my hand, then up at me. "You are not reckless," I said. "You are being targeted, and I can prove it." Her throat moved. For a moment, in that loud warehouse, her eyes looked raw. "Okay," she said softly. "Workers were watching us. Not like gossip. Like they were weighing what kind of people we were." Elena straightened her shoulders. I dropped my hand from her arm but stayed close. We left with copies of the gate logs, camera files, and pallet scans. I had what I needed. Now I had to tie it to Sterling in a way that would survive lawyers. The next morning, the attack turned on me. My phone buzzed before coffee. It was Marta. "Do not freak out," she said. "But you need to see this." She sent a link, a finance news site, not a gossip page. The headline said, "Vance CEO's new husband under quiet SEC review for insider trading." It was a lie, clean, sharp. Wrapped in, "Sources say." I felt my stomach flip, my pulse jumped, not from guilt, from anger. They were trying to turn me into the weak point, make Elena look stupid for marrying me, make the marriage itself the story. Elena walked into the kitchen just then, hair damp, robe tied at the waist. She took one look at my face. "What happened?" she asked. I turned the screen so she could see. She read the headline. Her jaw set. Her eyes cooled. She did not ask if it was true. She knew better. "They are trying to isolate you," I said. "If they can smear me, they can say you have bad judgment. Then they can peel you off the company." "Then we do not let them," she said. My phone buzzed again. Marta sent a screenshot from social media. A grainy photo of us at the courthouse. My hand at Elena's back. The caption said, "Bought and paid." Under it was Marta's text. "If you two are going to fake it, at least fake it with better lighting." A short laugh broke out of me before I could stop it. Elena heard it. Her eyes flicked up. "What did she say?" she asked. "She wants you to smile on camera so she can waive her fee," I said. The corner of Elena's mouth quirked. "Tell her to bill us double," she said. "I am not smiling for them." A second later, her phone rang. "Board chair," she answered on speaker. "Elena," he said. "This is unacceptable. Your husband is in the news. Our clients are calling." "What is unacceptable is publishing lies," Elena said. Her voice was cold. "I am addressing it." "We need a statement," he pushed. "You will get facts," she said. "Not theater." She hung up and let out a hard breath. "They want me cornered," she said. "Then we move first," I said. The boardroom the next day smelled like money, carpet, and old power. Polished wood. Long table. Windows that looked over the city like the company owned the view. Sterling was already there, sitting near the far end like he belonged at the head. Perfect gray suit, perfect tie. Smile that did not touch his eyes. Directors took their seats. Some nodded at Elena, some did not. A few glanced at me with open doubt. Elena walked in wearing a black suit. Not funeral black, fight black. Strong lines, no softness. I walked beside her. We did not hold hands, but we moved like we were already on the same team. Sterling stood up as if we were old friends. "Elena," he said, "I hate that it has come to this." "I do not," she said. His eyes slid to me. "And you must be Harrison," he said. "Congratulations. You married into a mess." "I married into work," I said. "I am good at work." A few directors glanced up. One of them almost smiled. Sterling's laugh was light. "Work does not change trust," he said. "It changes facts," I replied. The board chair cleared his throat and started listing, quote, concerns. Missing shipments, angry clients, regulatory whispers, the rumor about me. Elena listened without blinking. When they were done, she turned her head toward me. "Now," she said, "I stood. I did not raise my voice. I did not try to be dramatic. I put paper on the table and walked them through it. I showed them gate logs from Joliet, fake badge IDs, camera stills of trucks with that small S logo rolling in just behind real freight. I showed them vendor accounts with matching routing numbers, shell companies with no real offices, payments moving in circles that all touched Sterling's world. This is not random loss," I said. "This is a siphon. A controlled bleed hidden under new volume." "That is a lot of speculation," Sterling said. His smile looked tighter now. "It is not speculation," I said. "It is reconciliation. Every number has a match. I can show any regulator who asks." "And you think you can tie this to me?" he asked. "I already did," I said. "Your shell company paid one of these vendors 2 hours after the missing shipment was reported." Elena stepped in then, voice low but sharp. "Why is your money going to a vendor that does not exist on our list, Sterling?" she asked. For the first time he looked less smooth. His gaze flicked toward the board chair, just for a second. It was enough. "You are accusing me in front of your board," he said. "I am showing them what you are doing," I said. The room went quiet. Directors turned pages. Some frowned. Some swallowed. "Can we verify this?" one of them asked. "Yes," I said. "Hire an independent audit. Give them full access. If I am wrong, I will walk out of this building and never come back." Elena's eyes moved to my face. I could see it hit her that I had just put my own name on the line. Sterling leaned back, still trying to look relaxed. "This company needs a strong hand," he said, "not a nervous CEO hiding behind a husband." Elena stood up slowly. "You do not get to call me emotional after you tried to wreck my warehouses," she said. "You do not get to talk about livelihoods while you move money through shells." The board chair cleared his throat again. "We will vote on an audit," he said. They did. Hands went up around the table. All of them. Sterling's smile did not break, but I saw his jaw flex. As we walked out, his voice followed us. "This is not over," he said. I did not look back. Elena did not either. "I know," she said. In the car on the way home, the silence felt heavy and charged. The city lights passed outside in streaks. "You did not have to stake your name," she said finally. "I did," I said. "If I am in, I am in." She turned her head and looked at me in the dim light. Her eyes were softer than I had ever seen them in public. "You were impressive," she said quietly. The word sounded like it was new in her mouth. "Thank you," I said. Her gaze dropped to my mouth, then lifted again. Her breathing changed. My hand lifted, slow, stopping just short of her cheek. I left space for her to pull away. Elena closed that space herself, leaning into my palm. That was all the permission I needed. I leaned in, giving her plenty of time to stop me. She did not stop me. She met me halfway. She did not stop me. She met me halfway. The first kiss was not slow and perfect. It was sudden and hungry, like both of us had been holding our breath for weeks and finally gave in. Her fingers twisted into the front of my shirt. My hand slid to the side of her neck, thumb resting under her jaw. I kept control. I did not pull her hard. I did not trap her. I gave her space to change her mind. She did not. When we broke for air, her forehead rested against mine. Her breathing was uneven. So was mine. "This is a mistake," she whispered. The words sounded afraid, not cold. "Then tell me to stop," I said. She did not say stop. She kissed me again instead, deeper this time. Her hands slid up to my shoulders. I felt the tension leave her body in pieces. The driver cleared his throat softly from the front seat. "We are home, Ms. Vance," he said. We both froze for a second, then pulled apart. Elena let out a short breath that might have been a laugh. "Do not fire him," I murmured. "I will not," she said, voice low. We went inside. The house was quiet. The big windows showed only dark, and the faint reflection of us standing too close to each other. In the kitchen, she leaned back against the counter, looking at me like she was waiting to see if I would pretend nothing happened. I did not. I walked toward her and stopped close enough to feel her heat. My hand brushed her hip, gentle. "You okay?" I asked. "Do not make me talk like I am in court," she said. "Then do not talk," I said. She smiled, small and nervous and brave at the same time. She slid her hands up to my chest and pulled me in. I kissed her one more time, softer now. The rest of the night is not for anyone else. It was ours. Fade to closed doors and dim lights, and a woman who finally let herself be held. The next weeks were busy and sharp. The audit team moved through the company like a quiet storm. They looked at every vendor, every payment, every truck gate. They had full access. That had been Elena's demand. The shells did not hold up. They cracked fast once someone serious pressed on them. There were fake vendors with no offices. Money flowing in circles. Payments to accounts that matched Sterling's other companies. It was all there. Not clever, just arrogant. The report landed in the boardroom with the weight of a hammer. Sterling tried to spin it. He called it overreach. He called it aggressive expansion. The auditors called it fraud risk and market manipulation. Regulators were notified. The deal was dead. The board pulled back from the merger like it was fire. No one wanted to follow him into that. Elena kept her seat as CEO. Not because of the legacy clause, but because facts were on her side and she used them. The clause still sat in the trust papers like a ghost from another time. It had forced the first move, but now it felt less like a chain and more like a story we had already turned on its head. We did not talk about ending the marriage. We also did not rush to define it. We lived in it. We shared a house. We shared late nights and early calls. We shared jokes and silent moments and touches that did not feel like acting. One quiet Sunday, the fight finally felt like it had slowed down. The reporters had moved on to the next scandal. Sterling was busy with his own lawyers. The board was suddenly very polite. The house by the lake felt less like a stage and more like a place people actually lived in. Marta had sent a package the day before. No warning, just a box on the counter with her messy handwriting on the label. Inside was a cheap black frame and a printed photo from the courthouse day. Someone had caught us in motion. I had my hand at Elena's back, guiding her through the crowd. She was looking up at me, not at the cameras. We both looked real, not polished, not staged. Just two people moving together. Under the photo, Marta had taped a note. "For when you forget, you can look happy without permission." Elena had rolled her eyes when she saw it, but she did not throw it away. She set it on a shelf in the kitchen, near the coffee machine. Now we sat on the back steps with mugs in our hands. The lake was calm. The air was cool. Birds made small sounds in the trees. Elena turned her mug slowly. I smelled cinnamon in mine. She had made the coffee the way I liked it without asking. "Harrison," she said. "Yeah," I answered. "I need to say something," she said, "and I do not want it to turn into a plan or a deal." "Okay," I said. She reached into the pocket of her cardigan and pulled out the ring. The one we had bought fast for the cameras. Simple band, nice weight, nothing flashy. She set it in my palm. For a while, she said, voice low. I told myself this was only strategy, only survival, only a move on a board. She looked out at the water, then back at me. Then you started making my house feel like someone actually lives in it, she said. You fixed things you were not paid to fix, not just the company, me. The way I sleep. The way I breathe. Her eyes were bare, no CEO mask, no bored face. I am still me, she said, sharp, stubborn, difficult. I know, I said. And you are still you, she said, quiet and unmovable, the kind of man who does not promise loudly but keeps what he does promise. I swallowed. My thumb brushed the ring in my hand. I am not asking you to save me, she went on. I am asking you to stay, not because the clause demands it, not because the board watches. Because I want it. She nodded at my hand. If you put that ring on me, she said, it is because you want a life with me when no one is looking. The breeze lifted a strand of her hair. The lake was just a soft sound behind us. My hands did not shake. My chest felt tight, but steady. I did not marry you for the cameras, I said. Her eyes searched my face, like she was afraid to believe me. I did not marry you for the company, I said. I married you because that first night, when you asked me, you were still standing. Everyone was pushing, everyone was doubting, you were still there. I took a breath, and I wanted to be the man beside you when you finally got to sit down, I said. Her breath caught. Her mouth trembled once, then steadied. Harrison, she said. My name came out like something careful and important. Look at me, I said. She did. I lifted the ring and slid it slowly onto her finger. It settled there like it belonged, not as a chain, as a choice. Elena stared at her hand for a second. Then she laughed under her breath. It was a small sound, but it broke something open. Her shoulders dropped. Some of the tension she always carried just left. She leaned into me, pressing her forehead to my shoulder. Her hands gripped my shirt like she was making sure I was real. I am not good at soft, she whispered. I know, I said. I will teach you. She pulled back enough to look at me. Her eyes were bright. Her smile was small and honest. Then start, she said, with coffee, cinnamon, 2 sugars. I set my mug down on the step. I reached up and brushed a piece of hair behind her ear. My other hand covered hers where the ring shone now. Then I kissed her, slow and sure, in the simple morning light. No cameras, no board, no deadline. Just her, just me. Just a birthday joke that turned into a real marriage and a life we were choosing, one quiet, soft step at a time.